much my district mandated it for all of the special education teachers to be able to take their kids into the lab. So in the beginning, I was, a little forced to go and use the program. But it worked out really well because I became very familiar with it, and I was able to show a lot of other people how good it was. And so, I'm glad it happened that way. I'll have to say that what impressed me the most was the fact that anybody could use the program. There's so many programs that are great out there for like a certain amount of grade levels, and then the boys don't want to use it because those things come up, and then the girls don't want to get on because it looks like too much of a boy program. So I like it the most because it's no one's program. It's people speaking to you, whether it's in Spanish or in English, and then you're responding. And I'm always telling the kids to talk to the computer anyway, and so around the room you can hear them all saying different sounds and different words, which is kind of funny because obviously nobody can hear them, and it worked out really well. I can see how it could be used in a variety of grade levels and with adults too, because nothing pops up. There are no cute bunnies, no little lovey hearts, nothing. It's just straight and it's factual, and it's pretty easy to get into the flow with it because you know exactly what to expect. You get it right, yay, praise, 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 praise. You get it wrong, ooh, try it again. And my kids really respond to that well. Right now, I actually have the program loaded in my classroom, so my kids go through it every single day, and I have a checkoff list, and I can have them go through it there. And when I was running the lab, what we had done is, we had to find a block of 20 minutes, and that's what we did originally. I found a block of 20 minutes, and first I didn't know how I'd get kids in there, and then after I did, I couldn't figure out how to get them out of there, and I just didn't have enough time. I mean, I took every single moment I could possibly find, so we opened it before school. After the kids got through with their breakfast, they came right in and got on the program, and then I kept it open during lunchtime, and I found that you might think of that and go, oh my gosh, why? Because as soon as the kids finished, and you knew which kids they were, they would find something else to be doing with their time. So instead they sent them right out to the lab, and they all just jumped on the computers. And as I saw classrooms running by, and I had a check-off list as to what time all the classes left lunch, as they passed by, you're like, all right, so-and-so, get off the computer and go, get off the computer and go, get off the computer and go. I mean, but if I didn't watch them, it'd stay in there forever, so I'd be really careful. A couple of the kids really tried to stay in there really long. So I think it worked out really well to run it that way. I think during lunch was a great bonus for the kids, and we also run individual groups in there too, so they get picked up every other day, every day, and they go in and use the lab then too. It probably took me almost a month of using it before I saw absolutely incredible results. I'd have to say I was astounded, I was amazed. I was worried that on our 10 site licenses that I wouldn't be able to get kids on them, and in fact that was not the case. I had kids lined up out the door, I had kids standing around just waiting to get on the program. They increased our site licenses, and I thought for sure all my seats would be filled, and still it wasn't the case. I had kids lined up everywhere to get onto the computers. I had kids that I really had to track carefully because they'd stay in that room an hour if I wasn't paying attention to them, and then they'd come right back in, oh, my teacher said we had a few minutes extra free time. I'm like, oh my gosh, all right, well, you're going to learn how to read. And I'll have to say that kids that were low, kids that had already repeated a grade and were not doing well at all, in several different grade levels, and even some of my own students who had come into me from other districts and who were very, very low functioning, and I thought maybe could do a little better, just amazed us. Kids, the kids that were putting forth the extra effort, that came in before school, that came, or after their breakfast, that came in during lunch, that were picked up by a group. I mean, they were making gains by leaps and bounds, and the teachers came up to me, and they were just like, oh my gosh, the kids are really reading this stuff now in class, and I talked to parents, and they were like, oh, well, he picked up a book and said he was going to sit and read that, and I was like, are you sure? And my favorite one is the one day I was standing in the hallway, and there's this kid coming down the hall, and if you knew the kid, you'd really understand, and he'd spent a lot of time with me, and he was buried in this book, and he's just walking, and I'm standing right out next to the library, and I'm just like, hi. And he's like, oh, hi, just reading my book. And this is like when I got him, I think maybe he knew his letters. Okay, that was about it. And that was about 3 months before that. And the kids that I thought that were retained, that were probably on the track to go towards, special education, they never made it, none of them. And it was just really amazing to see. The kids that were in special ed, who came in incredibly low, made gains left and right. And the kids who came in even lower than that, who had trouble with even the beginning, very few sounds, after sitting and working with me on a few activities from the book, and it just really finally clicked to them that, oh my gosh, you mean a word must have a beginning and an ending? Wow, all right, yay, I'm going to go back to the computer. And they just started making all these gains, and they were like, I can really read this stuff now, and it was really great to see. I'm still very pleased with how well it works for my students. Yes! And I tell people, buy one site license, okay? If that's all your school can afford, buy one site license. Get the kids on it before school. Get kids on it every single minute that you can of the day. And after school, or adults that need extra help. I've talked to a lot of parents who wanted to come in and work on it through ESL. And yes, you're going to see results. And I did have to talk to the kids a little bit. I remembered one other thing. When I had the really young kids and they were in there with me, they didn't kind of understand that, because there's no foo-foo going on and everything. And it didn't, said, great job, but they didn't really correlate that too much. But they would have the green boxes appear at the bottom of the page, and I would come over and go, oh my gosh, you got a green box! And they were like, yes, get green boxes! And that's how my kids see it right now. They're always like, oh, I got a green box! That was so good, And I just had to remind them that's what they get on this program, are green boxes. And as you move up to the higher levels and your boxes get smaller, you get more green boxes. But I would recommend this to everyone. Everyone I speak to all across the United States, I tell them all the time, if there's something you want to do to help improve your kids in reading, if you want to help them learn how to get it themselves, because they're going to teach you sounds. They're not going to teach you, this is dog, this is cat, which they can all do. They're going to say, this is peh, this is nah, and you're going to put it all together after a while, and it's going to make sense. And they're always like, well, I don't know, like, just look at it and try it, because I think everyone would be just amazed with the results.